Like, let's select one of these objects. Now this tells you currently what the absolute world coordinates is of a given object. So, I could type in 0, 0, 0, and you can see it change, with everything I type in. So that puts it, kind of where that base is. Now, if I wanted to define it, like it's, say, 2 units, I don't know what the units are here anymore. Let's go minus 250. Okay, so that moves it in the world coordinates there. But if I click this button, I can move it relative to its current position. So, at any rate, there are times when that actually comes in handy when I'm trying to position work and so forth. At least when I'm modeling in Rhino, that would be handy. But if you right-click on, if you right-click on it, a window pops up with both of those in there. But it might be just as handy to do it down here. And of course, like I said, if you want to go from move mode to scale mode, you can do it. This scales it in the XY plane, or the XZ plane in this case, and this is the XY plane. So, you got those modes available. So you can also go to a squish mode, which will squish it out like a cartoon or something. And I don't know, whoops, I don't know what the difference on this is. I mean, that's probably not very useful. I don't know. And of course, hit the center. Now, of course, these transforms, like even rotate. Okay, grab the gray circle, that rotates it, in a plane of the viewport. Okay, whereas the green circle or red circle, rotated in a given axis. And then anywhere in between, you can, inside the sphere, you can free rotate it. And outside of the sphere, doesn't do shit. Now, too, you may have noticed when we changed the coordinates down here that they default back to 0 once you make a change. So let's say I wanted to change it, 20 in the Y value. Okay, it did that. And you can see it's back to 0 after I made the change. But I think that's interesting. Let me look at this. See, it's changing its rotation because we're in rotation mode. That's interesting. So apparently that works in rotation mode. Not exactly sure in what way, but and when you're in move mode, it works differently. I'd imagine in scale mode it works differently too. But yeah. So anyway, that's kind of interesting. By the way, too, there's a little slider here. So you can actually, reposition just by dragging it in a given axis too. That's interesting. Okay, now when it comes to the coordinate system, right now, and I don't know how it got here, but it's in view mode, okay, which, is a mode I normally work in Rhino, I guess. But you can switch to local and you see what happens with our gizmo. It actually changes to a local coordinate system, in all these views. So, if you go select these other things, since none of these are really rotated, it won't really do anything, but these are still local coordinate systems. So, again, this is the only object we have rotated. But anyway, that could be useful sometimes, especially when you're translating. You need to translate it in the axis. I mean, I can see that coming in handy. Um, in certain circumstances. And what's interesting, though, is that, about the local coordinate system, is that, we got it set to move, but you see if I go select rotate, it's actually still in the view. And even the scale is set in the view coordinate system. But because of that, all three of these different tools can default to, a different system if you want them to. Now, like rotate, she was using rotate, with a helicopter blade. The helicopter blade was in an odd plane, but if you go, select the local for the rotate, she could rotate the helicopter blades, without having to worry about what axis they're on or whatnot. So I can see that being a useful alternative. So, but I'll go switch this back to view anyway. Those are the only few she covered. So I don't know what these other ones do. And I still don't know what percent scale means either. Or percent snap.